Hola, mi amigos. Hello, my babies. Today is Monday. Happy Monday, guys. Um, Good news. Well, actually, I have good news and bad news. What you want to hear first? Okay, I heard somebody say they want to hear the bad news first. The bad news is that my webcam is broken, guys. I will have to get my computer repaired. However, the good news is that I'm actually going to buy a webcam from Amazon, and that should be coming within the next week. So, all of those people who were disappointed because they couldn't see my face, now is the time where you can rejoice because you'll be able to see my face very soon. Okay, I saw somebody roll their eyes. It was probably patronizing. Okay. All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead and get started. First of all, I want to say congratulations to all of the people who had 80% or above on their FSA. It was so many people, and I'm just really, really, really excited. And it just tells me how hard you guys are working, even though we're not able to see each other face to face. And I really appreciate that, guys. So let's keep on going. Let's keep on pushing. So this week, guys, we are working on author's purpose. This is probably another one of my favorite topics or objectives. So the entire week, we're focusing on author's purpose, okay? Um, and we're going to go ahead and get started with our PDN. This is a time where if you have done your PDN already, then you can continue to follow on with me. If you have not done your PDN, then I want you to pause the video right now and you can go ahead and get started and then pick it back up. All right. So, you were supposed to read the poem by Michael Jackson, Human Nature. It's actually one of his songs. But it's into a poem form, okay? So you guys know that whenever you have a poem, you're supposed to mark up your poetry elements. Good. So the first thing you were supposed to do is label your stanzas. So I have stanza 1, right? I have stanza 2, and then I have stanza 3, right? And then you want to go ahead and label your lines. So we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4, we have 5. I'm getting really good with this little marker, guys. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So we have 3 stanzas and 12 lines. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and begin reading the poem, and then I'm going to use a different color so we can mark up our rhyme scheme. Okay. Looking out across the night time, the city never shuts its eye. Hear the voices shake my window, sweet sighs are ready. So guys, as we can see, none of these words rhyme, right? So my rhyme scheme is going to start off with A. I doesn't rhyme with time, so we're going to give that B. Window doesn't rhyme with any of those, so we give that a C. And then ready doesn't rhyme. And so now you can see that the actual rhyme scheme so far is A, B, C, D. Let's keep on reading. Get me out into the nighttime. 4 walls won't hold me tonight. If this town is just an apple, then let me take a bite. So, it seems like tonight and bite might rhyme, but it's not quite there. So, technically, the rhyme scheme is still A, B, C, D. Because bite and tonight, it kind of rhymes, but I don't know. Reaching out to a stranger, eager ears are everywhere. Looking out across the morning, the city's heart begins to beat. Okay. And so again, our rhyme scheme is A, B, C, D because none of those words rhyme together. Okay. All right, good. So let's go ahead and begin answering our questions. And then obviously we see that there's no rhyming or there's no repetition. So we don't have anything else to do. Actually, I do see some repetition. Um, we have the city is like repeated twice. So we can see like he's talking about the city. And then looking out across is also rhyming. Okay. All right. So number 1 says which figurative language is used in line 2. So this is why we number our lines. It says the city never shuts its eye. So first of all, the city can't shut its eye. Like the city is not a person. So obviously the author is giving, or I'm sorry, the poet is giving the city a personal quality or human trait. And so that, of course, we know is personification. Okay. Excellent. Now, number 2, which of the following is the sound device used in line 10? So remember, guys, when we were talking about figurative language, there are only 2 sound devices, and that is alliteration and automatopoeia. So we can automatically eliminate repetition and rhyme. Okay, and then we also know that repetition and rhyme is not even in the poem. We said that in the beginning. So it's either automatopoeia or alliteration. When I look at 10, it says eager ears are everywhere. All of those words start with the eh sound, right? And so I know that that is alliteration because all of the words have the same beginning sound. Okay, good. Number 3, what is the figurative meaning? When it says figurative meaning, that means that it's not the actual real meaning. So what is the figurative meaning of lines 7 through 8? So 7 through 8 says, if this town is just an apple, then let me take a bite. So it's basically saying that like the town is comparing the town to an apple and saying like, let me take a bite. So we have to figure out like, what is the poet actually meaning by this? The poet wants to explore and try out the city. The poet wants to buy an apple in the city. The poet hates the city. The poet thinks the city looks like an apple. So first of all, I automatically know that I can eliminate B because the poet is not talking about buying an apple. Like that's just not what the poet is saying. I'm also going to eliminate C because in this poem, you notice that the poet is not saying that he hates the city. Everything that the poet is saying is basically talking about how much he loves the city and what it has to offer. So we're between A and D, right? It says, if this city is just an apple, then let me take a bite. Usually when you take a bite of something, it's because you want to try it, right? You want to see how it tastes. And so in my mind, I'm thinking like, oh, okay, the poet must really want to, go out in the city and walk around and look at its beautiful buildings and scenery, and it wants to explore, right? So the figurative language of these lines would be A, that the poet wants to explore the city, take its bite. And then number 4 asks for its rhyme scheme, right? And so when we go back, we automatically know that the rhyme scheme, and I'm going to put this in bold so you guys can see, is A, B, C, D. Okay? Good. That was awesome, guys. So let's go ahead and continue working. Let me take a sip of my coffee. That's some good coffee. Okay. Now we're moving on to our vocabulary word, guys. We are still talking about roots and prefixes, suffixes, except this time we're going into something a little bit harder. We're going to be talking about Greek and Latin roots, okay? Now, just like last week when we discussed root words, root word, of course, is a word that does not have a prefix or a suffix added, right? But here's the difference. Sometimes root words are from different languages, right? That means that it doesn't always have to be from the English language, right? They help us find the new meaning. They help us find the meaning of new words, right? So sometimes a root may be from the Greek language or from the Latin language, right? And so the first Latin root that we're going to study is bi, right? By, and then the other word, the other root word that we're going to put with that is cycle, right? Um, so by is the Latin root, and then cycle would be just the regular root word. Okay, and so by actually has a meaning. All of these Greek and Latin roots have meanings, and we put them with another word. When they come together, it creates a brand new meaning. Okay, and by actually means two. Okay, cycle, of course, is a writing machine, right? Use or just a write, let's just say writing machine. So when we put those two words together, those two roots together, it creates the word bicycle. And we know what a bicycle is, right? And so the new definition becomes a writing machine with two wheels. Okay, and so it becomes two wheels because of the Latin root by, which means two. So I'm going to go ahead and use a sentence. You could use my sentence or you could use your own sentence. Tremaya loves to ride her new bicycle. Okay, good. All right, so let's think of some synonyms or antonyms. This one is a little bit difficult. Because it doesn't necessarily may have like a synonym for bicycle. So I know an antonym would be tricycle, because a tricycle actually would have three wheels instead of two, right? So I'm really just going to put NA for synonyms, okay? If you have a synonym that you can think of, then you can actually fill it in yourself. So let's look at our picture. There's a bicycle there, right? How do we know that this image is actually a bicycle? When I look at the picture, I can see that it has two wheels, and so that helps me know, and it's actually a writing machine, right? And so that helps me know that this is an actual bicycle, because it is a writing machine with two wheels. Okay, and I'm just gonna go ahead and fill it in. All right, cool, excellent. So let's go ahead and continue learning. Now we're at our board equals paper. This is my favorite part of the lesson. Okay, so remember guys, I told you that we're working on author's purpose, right? Author's purpose. So author's purpose is the reason an author writes a particular text, right? Every author writes something to do something, right? If you're writing in a journal, you're doing that to share with someone, right? If you're writing a book, you're doing that to entertain, so to make someone laugh, to make someone feel something, right? So every author has a purpose of writing what they're writing. When you think of author's purpose, I want you to think of a big old fat, juicy pie. Whatever your type of favorite pie is, I want you to think about it. Whether it's blueberry pie, apple pie, strawberry pie, sweet potato pie, pumpkin pie, chocolate pie, pecan pie. What is your favorite type of pie? My favorite type of pie is actually apple pie. I love apple pie and I love pumpkin pie. So when I think of author's purpose, I'm thinking of some big old fat juicy pieces of apple pie. Okay, and so in author's purpose, we like to think about pie because there are three main reasons that authors write text. The first one is to persuade. Okay, the second one is to inform. And then the third one is to entertain. So I want you to notice that the reason why we say pie is because it actually spells out the word pie. Okay? it spells out the word pie. And so I want you to think of your favorite big old juicy piece of pie. The video is actually going to cut off, so I want you guys to go ahead and pick up on part 2 so we can finish.